What's up, Star Wars fans? My name is Prince and I'm an urban acolyte. I want to follow up on my video from last week about the Sith troopers. And in that video, I asked a question about if there is a connection to the Sith order. I had a lot of people just flat out say no. And so I'm kind of responding to those responses because I think, I'm just be honest, I think y'all are wrong. I think that the Sith troopers do have a connection to the Sith order. And if you've been following the videos or you watched the videos that I showed in that video, you would see why I think there might be some kind of connection. So that's what I'm going to talk about here, because my man Jason Ward over at Making Star Wars has been reporting on the Sith troopers for about a year now. And I've been making videos about that and relaying that information that he's been putting out. And over the last year, we have been saying that, hey, these Sith troopers might have some kind of connection to the Sith, right? So if you're new here, hey, man, I talk about Star Wars, but this is a different kind of Star Wars channel. I don't talk about any fake, made up, really crappy theories. And please don't get in your feelings. Don't be weak-minded and think that I'm throwing shade in any other Star Wars channels. I do what I do. They do what they do. I just happen to think I'm the best there is at what I do. And if you don't, well, it's probably because you need to be spoon-fed garbage. You need you need to be on baby food. You ain't ready for that real protein, that pure uncut, that rawness. So if you're if you don't mind a little trash talk with your Star Wars because you're ready to play with the big boys, click that subscribe button and enable them notifications so you know when I post new videos. But anyway, let's get back to this. I'm about to dig into some people because I don't like when people try to make arguments and they don't know what they're talking about. And it's like, I don't expect everybody to watch every single video I post. I don't expect people to remember videos that I posted because, hey, man, I know the business, baby. If you watch my channel, you probably watch Mike Zero, you probably watch Star Wars Theories, and you probably watch Geeks and Gamers. And I'm saying that because that's what my data tells me. The three channels that people watch, if they watch me, Mike Zero, Star Wars Theories, and Geeks and Gamers, in that order. So I say that because you watch these other people, and I'm not saying, hey, man, you watch whatever the hell you want to watch, right? I don't have a scarcity mindset. Man, if they watch Mike Zero, they're not going to watch me. No, man, you know what? Binge the fuck out of YouTube. I do. I haven't watched cable TV since Kawhi beat the fuck out of the NBA finals, out of the Golden State Warriors, you know, and maybe something different would happen if KD hadn't popped his Achilles, but it is what it is, right? My point is, like, I watch YouTube. All I've been watching is YouTube, right? Now I don't watch Star Wars videos. I watch sports highlights and travel videos, martial arts videos, fitness videos. That's what I watch. You like what you like. I like what I like. I don't like watching Star Wars videos. That's not me. Prince, you always hating, man. Some of y'all are some weak-minded bitches, man. I don't watch Star Wars videos, and this is why. Why the fuck am I going to watch somebody's video when it's like, oh, that's the article they read, that's their source? Why don't I take my happy black ass and go read that source for myself and then make my own video about it? Or I'll just keep the thoughts to myself, which is what I've been doing lately. Maybe I need an accountability buddy or something. Prince, you need to make that video, right? You got a good idea about that. I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, I'm rambling. Let's talk about these Sith troopers, right? Because I said I've been pretty consistent following what Jason is saying. What has he said? Why would I believe there's a connection to the Sith? The first time we ever heard this word, Sith troopers, it was being thrown around by whoever their inside contacts are on the set. They said, look, there are these Sith troopers who are loyal only to Kylo Ren and the Knights of Ren. They are not First Order. So there are these whole other stormtroopers that wear red, because in the First Order, the only people we know who have red armor is what's his name? Pyle, the pilot from Star Wars Resistance. What was his name? Was his name Pyle? Right? He was the pilot, and he had a red TIE destroyer or whatever with the First Order. And then Cardinal wore red. He was basically a red Captain Phasma. And then Captain Phasma beat the fuck out of him. I made a video on it 2 years ago. Go watch it if you haven't seen it. Why are they called Sith troopers? Why are they called that? Why do they wear red? We don't know. But if the Knights of Ren are tied to the Acolytes of the Beyond, this is what everybody was saying 3 years ago. All of a sudden people forget, right? All these, look, theories come back, but I don't know why this one never came back, right? After The Force Awakens came out, it was the Knights of Ren or the Acolytes of the Beyond. The Knights of Ren came from the Acolytes of the Beyond. Then is Darth Maul did he start the Knights of Ren? Did Ezra Bridger start the Knights of Ren? Well, I played a part in that one, but that was, hey man, I posted that. I just started out doing YouTube videos. I was like, oh, that would be an interesting title. Now I'm gonna title it that. Did Ezra Bridger start the Knights of Ren, right? He found his crossguard lightsaber, right? Hell, I didn't know. At that point in time, people had just really started watching Rebels. Most of y'all didn't even watch season 1. I stuck it out, though. Glad I did. But anyway, what I'm saying, though, is that the Acolytes of the Beyond were started by Yup Tashu and maybe some of Palpatine's other advisors. These people followed the Sith religion. So the Acolytes of the Beyond are these acolytes, right? These people who followed the Sith religion, Sith cultists. It only makes sense to me that the Knights of Ren, you start this new religion, sort of. It's not really a new religion, but you start this new movement within a religion, right? And then you identify now, oh, we've got all these young people who are angry and they think that the Empire was cool and that Vader was cool and the dark side, right? We find all these little emo kids and get them all together and piss them off and expose them to like Sith artifacts. And then ding, ding, the people who have these strong affinities and weird shit starts happening when they're around these Sith artifacts. They might have the Force, because we don't have a Sith Lord to identify who's the Force sensitive, who's strong with the Force. And this is how we're going to bring back the Sith. And then, if part of Palpatine's contingency is that he is going to be resurrected somehow through the dark side, now he's got a new apprentice. Now he's got a group of people, a pool of people to choose his next apprentice, right? So if the Knights of Ren, somehow they're obsessed with bringing back the Sith, think about it, and then they're around, right? Because what if I said, well, Kylo Ren obviously started the Knights of Ren, Prince. Motherfucker, you made that shit up. We don't know anywhere that Kylo Ren started the Knights of Ren. The only thing we know about the Knights of Ren is that in The Force Awakens, the concept art book, there's a line that says that when they were coming up with all of this stuff, the idea was that after Ben leaves the Jedi, he joins a gang. If he joins a gang, meaning he didn't form the gang was already out there, and that gang became the Knights of Ren. So Ben left the Jedi Order, joined the Knights of Ren. The Knights of Ren are not part of the First Order. The Knights of Ren sometimes work with the First Order when they share similar goals, right? Now, I don't know. Maybe Ben joined the Knights of Ren and then he joined Snoke, right? Doing stuff with the Knights of Ren. Snoke pulls him over to him. Hey, man, I can make you even more powerful, even better, right? Or maybe he was part of both, right? The Knights of Ren are like, oh, you're Vader's nephew. You're Vader's grandson. We know because they put that shit out in Bloodline, right? We want you to be part of us because we worship Vader, right? We're Vader fanboys and you're a Vader fanboy. Obviously, you're his grandson. And then Snoke is like, but I can make you the new Vader. Right. And so it's like, oh, well, I'm just trying to, hey, man, they both want me. Hey, man, I'm the most wanted person and I just want to be loved. Right. And you say, well, no, obviously Kylo Ren he wants nothing to do with the Sith. Motherfucker, will you pay attention to what the line was said? Kylo Ren never said, I want nothing to do with the Sith. He was telling that to Rey. He was like, Rey, let's start something new. Forget about the Jedi. Forget about your parents. Forget about the Sith, the Empire, the Rebellion. Put all that shit behind you and join me, right? And whatever my agenda is, whatever it is that I want to do, that's what you're going to do because you're going to be my apprentice, bitch. Right? That's what people do when they want you to join the dark side. They're like, oh, all your problems that you had, they can all go away. All that stuff, I'll take it all away from you. All you got to do is join me. Man, do y'all motherfuckers know what a sales pitch is? Look, this is how you break down any sales pitch. This is where I was. Yesterday, I was a loser, but now I'm doing this. And tomorrow, and this is what I did to stop being a loser. And guess what? Now I'm a winner. You should drop whatever you're doing because right now you're a fucking loser. And then you can do this and you will transform and you'll be a winner. Just like me. That is a fucking sales pitch, people. That's exactly what the fuck Kylo Ren was saying to Rey. And if you keep missing that, well, he said he obviously wants nothing to do with the Sith. Bitch, he ain't say that shit. He said it to Rey. He said, look, all the problems that plagued the universe and the galaxy in the past, we can put that all behind us because they were all losers. When we take over, they'll be winners. This is what you want to do, Rey. Join Team Reylo, baby. Join Kylo Ren. We can forget about the First Order. It'll be you and me. We can rule. You can rule at my side, right? Except I'm gonna be a couple steps ahead of you, right? Because the Force, I can teach you the ways of the Force. He didn't say we can learn the Force together. The Force, I can teach you. I can teach you. I'm the master. You're the apprentice. Join me, Rey. We can forget about all this stuff from the past, right? You mean nothing. You have no part in this story. You mean nothing, but you mean something to me. Join me, Rey. I don't know why people miss this stuff, man. It's like they don't pay attention, but then they want to argue about it. It's like, first off, Playboy, you got to get your argument together. You got to get your argument on point if you're going to argue this point, right? And if you arguing your stuff and you ain't coming correct, hey man, somebody's gonna snatch the rug right from under you. Are these Sith troopers? Are they Sith? We have no way of knowing. But what we have an idea of is that apparently Palpatine's contingency plan is still at play. Is his contingency plan? Does it involve the return of the Sith? According to Yup Tashu, it does. According to Yup Tashu, it does. And it specifically means that Palpatine is coming back in the flesh. We got these Knights of Ren. What is their background? Who are they tied to? What are they? All we know is they are dark side Force users. And if you look at a picture of one of those dudes, the dude that carries the big ass Final Fantasy sword or that big anime knife, hey man, he looks like he's wearing a Jedi robe and a Jedi belt. I don't know what to make of that. I'm just telling you what I see. He literally looks like a dark Jedi, right? In some kind of robe that I'm not familiar with, but that belt, hey man, he looks like a Jedi, right? They're Force users. They are dark side Force users. I told y'all that before The Last Jedi came out. I said, oh man, look at this book. This is a reference guide for Star Wars before The Last Jedi comes out. This says that the Knights of Ren are all dark side Force users. They're not First Order. Snoke didn't have any apprentices within the First Order. Within the First Order, the only Force sensitive people, Snoke and Kylo Ren. Right? The Knights of Ren worked with Snoke when they had similar agendas. If it's, this is going to serve the purposes that we have. And then if the Knights of Ren are tied to Palpatine's contingency, and we know that there were different factions after the Empire fell, right? You get all of that in Aftermath. And then you see it in the Poe Dameron comic book. There were people who survived and they went and they worked for the First Order, but they were like, well, I'm a former Imperial, but I'm kind of doing my own thing too. How many other people out there are like that? Or, the people who when the Empire was fractured, right after Jakku happened and people in the Empire, the Imperial fleet went into the unknown regions. Not everybody went into the unknown regions. Right? They might have been contacted or whatever by the Acolytes of the Beyond, some of Palpatine's other advisors. Maybe Tashu had other stuff at play too. There might be more to Palpatine's contingency than we know right now. Right? And right now, my thoughts are going with the Acolytes of the Beyond are part of Palpatine's contingency plan, and they have their own army. And that's something that I've been saying for like almost a year now. These Sith troopers, they work for the Knights of Ren. They serve Kylo Ren, right? It's not his personal bodyguard. They've got their own 501st Legion, right? That serves them. And so where we heard that there's a third faction, possibly, there's a bigger threat. Hey, man, you start introducing all kinds of possibilities for stuff when there's literally a third army, right? And who are they loyal to? Are they really loyal to Kylo Ren? Kylo Ren wears two faces at this point. He is the master of the Knights of Ren, but he's also the supreme leader of the First Order. And there's going to be a question, whose agenda are you really serving? What is the First Order's agenda to restore a new empire? But what are the Knights of Ren? They seem like some kind of religious zealots. Maybe they want to restore the Sith. And how is that going to play out? How's that going to work? Those are the questions you really need to be asking, man. I don't know about anybody else because I don't watch anybody else's videos. I don't know what they're talking about, but those are the questions you really need to be asking, right? We literally have two factions of the bad guys, right? Tashu said the new empire needs to be born from the dark side, but the First Order, actually, that didn't happen. I used to think that, the First Order is born from the dark side because Snoke, and then we start finding out more about Snoke. And, at that time I thought, maybe Snoke started the First Order, but no, Snoke didn't start the First Order. The First Order was started by Ray Sloan and Brendel Hux and a couple other people, right, who were at the top, the first generation leaders of the First Order. And Snoke kind of snuck his way in through the back door, right, and worked his way to the top, playing people against each other and getting everybody killed off until he was the supreme leader. He was the king of the mountain. So then you have to ask yourself, well, but Tashu kept talking about the dark side and the new empire needs to be of the dark side, and we're going to rebirth this thing through the dark side. So what if that's what the Knights of Ren are? And all the stuff that Tashu talked about involving the Sith and the Force and the dark side of the Force specifically, and going to the unknown regions to seek out the source of the dark side. I mean, what happens with that part of the story? Well, it wasn't part of the movie. So, hey, man, anything is fair game. It's all fair game, right? it is part of the movie because that's how the First Order got to be there. That's what happened after Return of the Jedi, and that's what led to the creation of the First Order. And now we're just seeing those events being played out on the screen as it involves the Skywalker family once again, and how that part, their involvement in the story, how I guess it's going to come to some kind of end, right? Which will introduce the next story. So these Sith troopers, this red stormtrooper armor that's got little fancy designs and stuff. It's not, I mean, yeah, it is a money grab to sell more toys. I'm not going to buy them, but some of y'all will. But it also starts asking some interesting questions about this story. The Knights of Ren, the First Order, the Sith. How does it all play out? What's the connection there? Because believe me, baby, believe me, if Palpatine is coming back and you got this other order, this other faction of dark side force users, at some point in time, the Sith are going to be involved. And if you think differently, you ain't paying attention. I mean, their name is the Sith Trooper. Why would they just name them that? Think about it. That's all I'm asking you to do. Think about this stuff. Think critically about this stuff. Ask the questions that nobody's asking. That's what I try to do, at least. So I hope I made some of y'all think about some stuff. I hope this was thought provoking. Start a conversation down in the comments. Let me know if I made you think about something that you hadn't thought about previously, or if I told you something that maybe you missed in other videos because you didn't get notified about them, YouTube didn't tell you, or you just forgot because so much time has passed. So please put your thoughts in the comments below. I'll be checking back to see what y'all have to say. If you haven't subscribed already, go ahead, click that subscribe button, take your first steps towards becoming an urban acolyte. Embark on the journey of becoming the hero of your own story. Become a force for change in your community. Continue to support the channel. You can do that by sharing the videos and watching more of them on the channel, especially the videos that you might have missed. Anyway, that's all I got for this one. Thanks for watching. Y'all keep on breathing, and may the force of others be with you always.